Good afternoon. Today we're going to work on making this 3 layered pop-up heart book. It has hearts that pop open just like this. Oops, let's get it back in frame. And we have made a book like this, and we have made a single heart like this, but we have never made 3 layers that are different sizes. So I thought it would be fun to do this. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you will enjoy playing along and maybe making one yourself. Let me tie this back. Come on now. I can tie a bow. There we go. Enjoy. Good afternoon. Okay. So, for this project, we're going to use several things, and I thought I'd show you some of the things we're going to use ahead of time. I have some ribbon because I'm going to tie my little heart book up with some ribbon. It's a closure. I have this fun leaf vine trim. I might use some of that just as decoration. I have some napkins that kind of go along with the theme of my papers. I have some papers to use for decoration. These are cardstock weight. They're different designs and such. I have some scraps of some of the papers that I've trimmed up too. So we have all of those things. Oops, there's another napkin. I knew it went somewhere. And we're going to start with 3 squares. I have an 8.5 inch square. I have, it is square, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. I have an 8.5 inch square, 8.5 inch square, a 10 inch square, and a 12 inch square. And I know that 8 would work, but I also know that it looks real good with the 8.5. As the squares get smaller, the hearts seem to lay in real nicely with one another. I have this piece because I'm going to use these corners as decoration on the front and back of our little book. I have some pre-stamped images on book pages and on tissue paper. This is some darker tissue paper, but I also have some lighter. I have some music paper. I have some of those little images from the cardstock already cut out, just because it'll make it a little easier to work. Of course, I'm going to use my distress ink on the edges, and we're going to make 3 different heart shapes that will open up. Okay, and they're going to be attached together. So the first one is an 8.5 inch square, and I'm going to make one on the white, on some white cardstock, just so you can see how I get a heart. And then I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the other 2 of these to draw my design. Okay, so I just had a square of white cards, or a piece of white cardstock. There it is. Now this piece is obviously not square, and we need a square. So and oh, this piece is only 8 inches wide, so to make it a square we'll just do 8 inches. Okay. Now I recently did a card in the same manner as these little hearts are going to be for our book. So there is a video on how to fold each little heart, but I will show you again. We're going to fold it in half just like that. We're going to crease it very nicely. We're going to open it and turn it and fold it this way. Then we're going to open it and turn it over. So now our folds are that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold it from corner to corner back on itself. Each crease needs to really be creased very nicely. Okay, now when we open this, we're going to take our finger, we're going to put it right in the middle where everything meets, and we're going to push it from the bottom and it will pop up. And then we're going to take these flat pieces and fold, just like so. Okay, I'll do that again. You just push it from the bottom until the center pops up, and then take the flat pieces and just fold it, and it'll just fold up all nice and neat. Okay, now to get our heart shape, and I'm going to actually draw it on here with a pen so you can see it. I just put a line from corner to corner. Now I would normally do that in pencil very lightly so that you couldn't see it real well. And then I take something that's round and I simply set this round thing. You see there's an edge right here, an edge right here, and we've got this line right there. And I just set all three of those points together and I draw from that line around to this other side. And you see I got a nice curve, and then I find this exact same point right here and I just put them all up on the other side. Oops, I went off the edge over there, so I didn't quite have it on the cardstock, and you need to have it on the cardstock. And see this nice curve that I have now. Real nice curve. And when I cut that out, it'll give me a very nice little heart. See, we have a nice little heart, and when we open it up, we have our heart-shaped card. So, I now need to do that to all three of my cardstocks. Oh, I just threw things all over the floor. Oh well. Now, the thing of it is that I want this paper to be on the inside of my heart this time. In the card, I put it on the outside of the heart. This time I'm going to put it on the inside. So to do that, I need to start with my paper in the decorated position that is up. Okay? Okay, so now we have all three of our hearts cut out. And they're going to layer up just like this. All right. But because I have used the white cardstock, or the single-sided cardstock, and my pretty side is on the inside, I need to do something about the front, the back, and these couple of edges. So in the same cardstock pack I had this pretty sheet. So what I'm going to do is make a little heart that's for the front. And I'm just going to do that by cutting one out, like so. Oops. It'll be all right. It's going to be covered up. So I have this one like this. Okay, now I do not want to glue that on right now. Okay, I have it, it's ready, but I don't want to glue it on. I also need one for the back. So I'm going to take my largest heart. And I'm going to do that again. This one will go on the back. And we have our middle heart and our little heart with this one on the front. Okay. Now, one of the things I will tell you is that you could make pieces from your cardstock to put in here, but I don't think I want that extra bulk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere some napkin to two edges of this. I'm just going to take this napkin, and I have to only do it on the middle heart and the largest heart. I want to do it on the flat piece, not the piece that's folded in here. Although then it would be prettier, wouldn't it, guys? If it was adhered in there. I think we'll do that. So basically we want something up here on this edge, and then we want to cover these two areas. Now it doesn't have to be the whole napkin, it can just be parts of it. We do want to take our napkin apart so we only have a single layer. Put that piece up there. And I have my water brush. So that I can get this apart with sort of a torn edge. Now I'll have to have some more napkin to fill these two side pieces in. But I also have these fun pieces of these things. So I'll be filling in with some of those too. And I'm just using Mod Podge and glue mixture. I tend to like it better than matte medium for some reason. And it works for me. Everyone has their different things. Matte medium seems to be awfully wet to me. I do put a little bit of water in my mixture. Okay, well, these are almost dry. Not quite, but almost. So what I'm going to do is trim off all this excess napkin and tissue. And then I'm going to decorate the insides of all of my pages. Or signatures. I'm not sure what you would call this since it's really kind of a page. I'm just going to get busy working on that. I probably won't talk a lot through it unless I have something to say. I did, while things were drying, I went ahead and got the napkin and some more tissue pieces cut out so that you didn't have to watch me cut out a ton of pieces, that they're already cut out and I can just put them together. So I'm going to get busy here and I'm going to just decorate the insides, and then of course we'll have to leave them to dry again. So right now, there may be some more places where I add some other things, but for right now I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to work on some little embellishments. And by embellishments, what I mean is I have cut some little hearts. I have some little cutouts from some of the other cardstock. And what I'm going to do in the way of working with them is I'm going to go ahead and ink them. And I'm going to do this off camera while everything dries, because I just don't see making you watch me ink around all of these little pieces. Right now. I mean, it just seems silly to have you watching me do that for the next half hour. So, that's what I'm going to do. And when things are dry and I have these little embellishments inked together, I will be back. Okay, so I told you that when you layer these up, if you don't have double-sided cardstock, you need to add a bit of something to both the folded sides where they peek in and one of the top sides. Well, I got mine all ready to show you the next step and realized I had decorated the wrong piece, because when you open this, you want to have your writing and your design the right direction up. So, needless to say, I had to go back and put some more stuff in there. Just pay attention if your design is one directional, or if you've, because I wanted to put down stuff that didn't require, or that required Mod Podge and all that kind of thing. You need to do this and make sure that you get this in the upright position. So the next thing you need to do is to ink this. Well, if you're going to ink it. And I wanted to show you that, first off, it's kind of stiff when you've got it, when you've been putting Mod Podge stuff all over it. So you want to get it all folded back up again. But if you fold it and hold it that way, it is easier to ink. And even though that's the back side, I'm going to ink it just in case any parts of the little edges don't line up perfect. It will just hide any tiny little errors. Okay. I've inked all the bigger pieces, and I've inked the pieces I cut for the front and the back. These pieces that go on like so. So there's just the inking of this one smaller piece to be done. Like I said, it's just a little easier if you fold it up to work with it. At least on this one side. The other side's a little harder to hold folded. So our next step is going to be to put this all together. Now, you want to make sure that when you fold up your pieces, you get them right side up. This is going to open like this. And especially if you've got words on there, you don't want it to be sideways. So you want to make sure that you get them laid out correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little clips at the top. So see, when I open this one, the words are right. So if I put this clip at the top, and the same is true with your big one. Okay. Okay. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to use some pretty heavy duty glue, but I'm also going to use some sticky tape, because if I use some sticky tape, it will help to hold it while the glue dries. I just want to make sure it's in frame, so. Well, heavens, I certainly didn't need all of that to hold the front on. Oh, well. The better you burnish this down, the easier it is to get up, to get the release tape to come off. And I'm going to use tacky glue, but use whatever glue you happen to like. I'm going to use tacky glue because it holds real well. Usually sets pretty quick. Now what we want to do is we want to get it on there. To get a little extra glue, sliding out. Use a, there, now see, that's the front, and it'll open like so. Okay, now you notice that this second one is a little bigger than the first. Well, that's all right, we can trim that off. And a little bit of re-inking will go a long way with cleaning that up. Okay, so there's our front piece. Now we're going to stick this piece to the next one, like so. so that it'll open like that. Okay, and I just noticed that that is hanging over just a little bit more than I want, so I'm going to cut it off just a little bit. Okay. Now when you go to do these, make sure that you've got them the right direction. And I just center this with the folded edges. So right here, those folded edges line up. Now as we open this, we'll go like so. And then the next one will open like so. Okay. Now we have to attach this one to the big one. Make sure that it's right side up. And remember, this didn't have to be decorated. I messed up and decorated the wrong edge. Okay. Remember, we want to line up the folded edges. Just like so. Okay. Now we need to put our back on. But before we put our back on, we want to put on some kind of tie so that we can close our book up. And let's see, where do we want it to come across? I think we want it a little bit lower. Now that would be cute, but I'm thinking that it might be cute to bring it where it ties at an angle like so. Let's see, I want to check it out. It's hard to check it out when you can't see what you're doing. There we go. Oh yes, I like that. I think that is so much cuter than if it tied straight across here. So I'm going to put it on here at an angle, just like that, so that it ties our little book together like that. So let's see. Let's cut off about this much. Put this back. Now, you see how this is going across here, right like that? That is how we have to get our ribbon in there. And I can put a little drop of glue under the ribbon. Just to hold it for right this minute. Don't want to put the tape on the ribbon because I want the tape to hold the papers together, not the ribbon. And honestly, we're just holding the paper across the back, so it's all right. It'll be fine. This tape is very good tape, but it's always hard to get the release off. Now see again, the heart, I didn't cut quite the same, so I can just trim it off. And then, like I said, in a little while when things are dry, I will ink those edges just a little bit more, and it'll clean it up a lot. There we go. Okay, so now here's the back. And see, our ribbon is actually hidden. And to close up our little book, we would just tie it up just like this. Now, isn't that cute? Okay, now I want to decorate this book some more, and I would very, very much like to continue and finish it. But what I'd like to do is to make sure that it is all dry before I start putting decorations in it, because the decorations are going to add some bulk to it, and I don't want to do that until I've got it dry and stuck together. So what I am going to do is I'm going to leave it untied, and I'm going to put some weight on it and let it get good and dry before we go on. Be back. Alrighty, so I want to finish up our little book with some embellishments. I'm going to just add in a few things just to have a little bit more decoration on this. Some of them I am going to add in three-dimensionally. These are some embellishments that I already had made up. I'm going to add the dimension to these things with this foam tape. A lot of times I use just a little half piece of this. And I usually add a dab of glue, even though this is sticky. I add a dab of glue because the sticky doesn't always hold. So, this is not my favorite three-dimensional tape because the second layer of sticky does not always want to come off. It's just got an attitude. But all these things just need a little, all these pages just need a little bit more finishing up. I think that they could just use bits and pieces of something. And the three-dimensional part of it really makes a difference. I am very, very happy with this. I really think it came out cute. It's fun to play with. It has dimension. Almost can't see it all. Let me just back out a little bit. That's as far as it goes, guys. Okay. So I really, really love it. I just think it came out so cute. It's our layered little heart book. Layered pop-up heart book. So, and I really like that I decided to have it tie kind of off-center up here. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to take the time now to read you a quote from, let's bring you in so you can just enjoy the closed book. There we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to read you a quote from 1001 Ways to Creativity, and then I need to see about trying to edit all the parts and pieces of this book together. So I'll see y'all later. Let me read you a quote. Creativity means being the new guy or gal every day. Okay? Maybe. Anyways, guys, go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.